powerful, wealthy family. I began managing the family business at the age of 15. By 17, I had grown the family enterprise to 100 billion, and by 19, I was controlling Guru's most core business. Wow. But on my twin brother's 20th birthday banquet, which also marked a group handover, grandfather handed over the purple sandalwood seal, the family head's identity, to the useless older brother who only knew how to eat, drink, and be merry. He was putting his hand on my shoulder in a fake way, embarrassed, and was tossing it away. Embarrassed, telling me to. If that's the case, I announced right there that I was relinquishing my inheritance rights and taking with me the entire family team I had built, which is perfectly normal, in the banquet hall of the G family's old mansion. The light from the crystal chandeliers made everyone's faces blur. Today was my brother Ji Young's and my 20th birthday, and the day of the group handover. I'd been trained like rain since childhood. Everyone believed that Grandpa would give me the position of family head tonight. I was holding a wine glass and accepting everyone's wishes with a proper smile. Fourth Aunt was giving the opening speech on stage, and the atmosphere had reached its peak. Then Grandpa stood up, and the entire hall fell silent. He cleared his throat and said loudly, "Today is the 20th birthday of both my grandsons and also my retirement day." Then he paused, and his gaze finally rested on me. There was a complex emotion in his eyes. My heart skipped a beat. According to G family rules, the position of family head is given to the eldest grandson. My heart stopped. Ji Yang and I are twins. He's only 3 minutes older than me, and those 3 minutes were about to destroy 20 years of my hard work. I watched as Grandpa opened the box and took out the heavy seal. Then, ignoring me, he walked over to Ji Young, who was standing carelessly next to me. Ji Young, from today, you're the head of the G family and also the chairman of the G group. Remember, you're the eldest grandson and you have a responsibility to fulfill. Ji Young was shocked for a moment. Then excitement erupted on his face. He almost snatched the seal and took it. "Thank you, Grandpa, I'll definitely do it." The entire hall fell dead silent. Everyone's eyes were fixed on me like spotlights. Some had sympathy, some amusement, and some were just happy inside. My facial muscles stiffened and I couldn't maintain a smile. Then a clear voice echoed in my mind. "Yes, I won. I told you that being born 3 minutes earlier is enough to become the crown prince. An idiot like Jiang grew so much, worked so hard, struggled so much, and in the end, it was all for me." It was amazing. I looked at Jiang in shock. He stood there, holding his seal. His face was pure anger, but he kept saying, "Brother, please help me. In the future, we will take care of the family together." Then I realized it was his inner voice. I don't know how I was able to hear his mind. Perhaps the extreme humiliation and anger had activated some hidden ability. John came up to me and patted me hard on the shoulder. The show-off was clearly visible in his strength. Look, his face had been perfect since childhood. He thought everything was fixed, but to the old man, I was the best. I dug my nails into my palms. Just then, Liu Ruyan from my fiancé approached him with wine. She was wearing the same expensive dress I had bought for her. She had a blush on her face and sparks in her eyes. "Ji Yang, bro, congratulations, I will grow up and study in the future." He didn't even bother to look at me. Then his inner voice echoed in my ears. "It's good. I chose the right person. So what if Jian is capable? In a traditional clan like the Ji family, there's subordinate order and status. Now I'll be the future chairman's wife." Then I realized all my value was nothing compared to those 3 minutes. Rules and traditions are just a pretext to protect the media and suppress talented individuals. I watched Ji Young sip Liu Ruyan's glass and deliberately touch his fingers, base. I saw Grandpa stroking his beard with satisfaction, as if he'd made the smartest decision in the world, and relatives were fawning over Ji Yang as if I were a background character. The anger inside me finally broke. I slowly unclenched my fist and laughed. The sound was low but filled the entire hall. I picked up the microphone and walked on the stage. The lights came back on me. To all the guests who came to my brother and my birthday banquet, I deliberately emphasized the word brother. Grandpa nodded. "It's good that you're smart. Helping your brother in the future will pay dividends." Ji Young smirked. Continue editing. I looked around the hall and said, "If the Ji family so respects the elder grandson rule, then I, Ji Young, hereby announce that I am ceremoniously relinquishing my inheritance rights and making a clean exit from the Ji group." The entire hall froze in shock. Grandpa stood up angrily. "What are you talking about?" But I ignored him and continued. "Moto, the launch project, which I personally created and led, all its data, client resources, and planning for the next 3 years is my personal intellectual property. Therefore, the entire core team will be going with me." With that, I threw the microphone and walked out. Passing by Ji Young, I heard his panicked voice. "Is he taking the team with him? What is the launch project?" It wasn't a company project. I couldn't let him go. He wanted to stop me. But I just said with an old look, "Family head, please behave." Behind me, in the other corner of the hall, my assistant Linzo stood. He picked up his coat and said, "Gee, the boss is gone. Gee, what are we doing here?" We have to report to... Just then, more than 20 people sitting at 2 tables immediately stood up. These were all the core members from the technical, marketing, and project departments, and they followed me. Without a glance, and they followed me. The entire hall fell dead silent. Only Ji Young's seal in his hand and grandfather's dark face remained. I exited the mansion. The cool breeze dispelled the suffocating perfume smell inside. Linzo put on my coat. "Gee, the boss's car is ready." I sat in the back seat. The other core members also got into other cars. No one asked anything because I had recruited these people myself. We had spent countless sleepless nights together and completed impossible projects. Our trust was beyond the normal boss-employee relationship. The car was leaving the rich area. I was watching the mansion shrink in my rearview mirror when my phone vibrated. It was Grandpa calling. I immediately disconnected and blocked it. Then I got a call from Ji-young. Has Ji-young gone crazy? Come back immediately. Ji, family head, watch your language. We're not brothers anymore, we're just business rivals. What are you to me? Everything you wear and spend belongs to the G family. I've blocked all your cards. How will you feed your team now? Thanks for the reminder. But my own earnings and investments are enough for me to start afresh. With that, I hung up. Jung didn't know that I'd been secretly investing since I was 18 and already had a strong startup fund. I never put my full hopes on anyone else, even family, and today proved it. I was right. Then I got a call from Luyan. Jian, please don't be impulsive. Grandpa is old. You should come back and apologize. Everything can still be okay. I said coldly, you must not have remembered all this when you were toasting Ji-chan. She fell silent for a moment. Then she said, I was trying to work the atmosphere. You know I only love you. I said with a smile, now you can give your love to the new family head. Everything is over between us. I also blacklisted his number. The world finally went quiet. Just then, Linzo handed me a tablet. Yes, boss, this was prepared overnight by our team. It's the future plan for the launch project and the new company registration process. You can take a look. I took the tablet. It said the company name is New Start. My coldness returned. A spark returned to my eyes and I softly said, yes, this will be it. Our new beginning. The very next day, the entire business circle was shaken. News of Ji Shang, the Ji family's genius second grandson, leaving the group who spread like wildfire. Countless media companies and business forums started discussing it. Some said I was impulsive, some said I was an agent. But the real people in the industry knew that the launch project and the core team were truly on track, and they went up. That very afternoon, New Star Tech was officially registered, and we began work in a small, high-tech office. Meanwhile, chaos had already begun within G Crew. Because I controlled all the key systems and planning for the projects on which the company's future growth depended, Jan was realizing, for the first time, that receiving the family seal and running an empire were two different things. We began optimizing and upgrading our core product, a brand new smart home control system, and preparing for an early market launch. This product, which had previously been G Group's biggest project for the next half year, was now destined to become our Shinchi's first major weapon. Meanwhile, G Group had become completely helpless. The so-called experts Jiang had hired, paying high salaries, were rendered completely helpless, leaving behind the half-finished code of the Chang project. In the meeting, he started boasting to Zhang. In my opinion, the previous team's code structure is complete garbage. It's unrealistic and has no commercial value. Yes, there's a problem with its underlying logic. We recommend that it be completely rebuilt. I laughed listening to the recording from within. They couldn't understand the code, so they called it garbage, and Zhang, like a fool, believed them. His inner voice echoed, the enemy worked so hard to create such garbage and I considered it treasure. Okay, tear it all down and start again. I'll show them. Who is the real genius? Zhang immediately signed and approved the new team's proposal. He decided to abandon our already 90% complete project and restart from scratch. This decision cost Jigru several crores of extra investment and at least half a year of extra time. Grandpa had officially retired, but what was going on at the company? He couldn't hide it from them. He summoned Ji Yang to the old mansion and scolded him vehemently. You idiot, do you even know what starting all over again means? It means all our investment of the last 6 months is gone. Ji Young said fearfully. Grandpa, those new experts clearly said that Ji Young left behind only a fancy but useless shell. Don't always consider him perfect. Now he's our enemy. His inner voice echoed again. Old man always takes his side. He's still protecting him. I have to do something big so he knows who's right. Finally, even Grandpa couldn't stop him, sighed heavily, and fell silent. I seized this perfect timing advantage. A month later, Cinch Tech held its first product launch conference. I stood under the spotlight, introducing our smart home system, scheming to the media and potential partners. The scheming system will redefine your life. It wouldn't just be a controller, but your intelligent smart assistant. Its smooth performance, human-friendly design, and powerful compatibility surpassed any similar product on the market. Upon launch, Kuming became a sensation across the tech industry. That very day, we signed strategic partnerships with the country's top 3 home decoration companies, and the total value of orders exceeded 50 million, and Shachi Tech became famous instantly. Office phones were ringing non-stop. At the same time, G Group hadn't even completed the basic structure of its new plan. When Ji Yang saw me confidently on stage in the news and saw the gaming system's amazing features, he angrily smashed his favorite antique base. It's impossible. This is the very plan we created. How did it become so powerful in just a month? Only then did he realize he had been fooled by those fake experts he thought were garbage. It was actually market-changing gold and he himself threw it in the dustbin. G Group stocks plummeted again. The uncle, who used to side with Grandpa in board meetings, now started complaining. See what happened? With Jian's departure, the company and new projects almost collapsed, and now he's become our biggest competitor for our projects. What the hell is going on? Grandpa sat in the main seat, his face dark as if water was dripping. He gritted his teeth and said, "Jian, that bastard's grown wings." He turned around and started biting. But he didn't know that this was just the beginning. The success of the chiming system firmly established Shachi in the industry. We immediately began expanding the market, and in just 3 months, he captured 30% of the domestic high-end smart home market. But Liu Ruyan's condition was not good either. Ji Yang was busy with girls and parties and completely forgot about her. The Liu family had chosen the wrong side. Therefore, their social standing began to rapidly decline. It was reported that Liu Ruhan repeatedly tried to meet me at parties and business events, but each time my bodyguards stopped her. I didn't even bother to properly see her. Some people, once they're gone, are gone forever. And I had no time to waste on such boring people and things. My true goal was to completely eliminate that rotten and agent Jigru, who believed only in bloodline and the eldest son's rules, and Jigru's financial situation was now on the verge of collapse. Ji Young's foolish investments were consuming the company's funds like a bottomless pit, and the decline of the core business had caused company revenue to plummet. New banks began demanding loan repayments, and suppliers began arriving at the office for payments. Panic spread within the company. Employees began secretly resigning. Finally, Zhang became afraid. He had no choice left, so he went back to the old mansion to ask for help. In the study, grandfather was trembling after submitting the latest financial report. "In just 6 months, you've brought the company to this state. The Ji family's 100-year-old legacy will be destroyed because of a worthless person like you." Ji Young knelt on the floor and cried, "Grandpa, I made a mistake. Please help me one more time. The old man must have a secret stash. If he fires you, the company will survive. Once the company stabilizes, I'll take care of everything." Grandfather closed his eye. His face showed only fatigue and disappointment. After a long silence, he said, "There's only one way left." Zhang immediately asked, "Which way?" Grandfather said in a heavy voice, "Bring Jian back. If he agrees to come back, I'll give him the family seal and make you his assistant." Ultimately, he had to give in, but Ji Young immediately became furious. "It's impossible for me to bow down to him and become his assistant. I'm the eldest grandson. I'm the family head. I'd rather die than apologize to him. What is he, after all? Just an outsider raised by my parents." Then his inner voice echoed in my mind. The word outsider struck me like lightning. I always thought we were twins. Everyone had said that since childhood. Could the truth be otherwise? I immediately ordered Linzhou to retrieve all the old records from the hospital where we were born. 3 days later, Linzhou presented me with an old birth certificate. The mother's name was still my mother's, but the baby identification only had Ji Young's name written on it, and the DNA report cleared everything up. One report showed a real blood relationship between Ji Young and my parents, but the other report showed no blood relationship between me and them, meaning I wasn't actually a member of the Ji family. I was picked up from the hospital that very day. No, maybe it wasn't an accident. It was impossible for a family as powerful as the Ji family to not notice such a mistake for 20 years. It was impossible. That meant it was all intentional. Perhaps Ji Yang was born very weak and sick. So, needing a healthy child, the family took me in to tell the world the story of the twins. And I was just their backup plan. I was trained like air, only because Ji Yang was weak. But as he grew up and looked healthy, I became expendable. The eldest grandson rule was just an excuse to legally give everything to Ji Yang. In the end, it all turned out to be a carefully planned scam. From start to finish, Ji Yang was the Ji family's only vassal. This truth destroyed the last remaining hope in my heart. But surprisingly, I felt neither anger nor sadness, only a terrifying peace remained within me, because there was no longer any blood relation between me and the Ji family. Therefore, I will feel no guilt in anything I do now. Meanwhile, under pressure from Grandpa, Ji Yang finally called me. As soon as the call connected, he gritted his teeth and said, "Jian, are you free? We need to meet." His inner voice kept cursing me. "Just get the money, then see how I ruin it." I asked calmly, "What's the matter?" He said helplessly, "Grandpa wants you to come back and save the company." I interrupted him. "If I want you back, I have conditions. In front of the entire shareholders meeting and the media, you and Grandpa will personally hand me the family seal and the chairman appointment letter and publicly apologize for your past decision." Ji Yang yelled like a madman. "Impossible, we apologize to you. Who do you think you are?" I said coldly, "Then be prepared. A week later, I'll see G Group go bankrupt." And I hung up. I knew Grandpa would do anything to save his reputation. He would never want G Group to end at his hands. 2 days later, Grandpa himself called. His voice wasn't as powerful as before. He said in a tired voice, "All your conditions are acceptable. There will be a shareholders meeting on Friday." On the day of the meeting, the entire conference hall was packed with media and shareholders. Grandfather came on stage, his face looking old and frail. He grabbed the microphone and said in a heavy voice, "Due to my wrong decisions and Jiang's lack of experience, the company is in crisis. Therefore, the board has decided to reinstate Jiang as chairman." With that, he picked up the verbal sandalwood seal and the appointment letter and tremblingly walked toward me. All the media cameras were capturing the moment. Everyone thought this was a moment of reconciliation and a transfer of power, but then I stopped him. Everyone looked at me in shock. I took out documents from my briefcase and asked Linzhou to distribute them to all the shareholders and reporters. Then I picked up the microphone and said, "Before accepting the chairman's position, I want you all to review these documents first." As soon as Grandpa and Ji Young saw the papers, their faces went pale. DNA test report, Grandpa panicked. How did he know this? Only I and his parents knew this secret, he said. Ji-young, confused and scared, was there. Without giving them a chance to react, I picked up the microphone and said, today I'm going to reveal a 20-year-old truth. I'm not a real child of the G family. The DNA report I have in my hand proves that there's no blood relation between me and them. And on the other hand, hospital records show that only one child was born in the G family that day. Ji-young was stunned, the entire hall in shock. The shareholders and reporters were stunned. Grandpa, trembling, said, it's all a lie. I looked at him and asked, is it really a lie? 20 years ago, Ji-young was born weak, and you were afraid that if he died, the G family would be destroyed. He took a healthy baby from the hospital and fabricated a story about twins, and that baby was me. Yeah. I was trained as a squire solely to be Ji-yeon's replacement if needed. I worked day and night to bring the company to its feet, just so you could see that your squire was still useful. But as soon as Ji-yeon recovered, you discarded me like a useless object. Did you think I would still come back like a loyal dog and save your company? Everything I said felt like a knife to Grandpa's heart. His face turned red and purple, and suddenly he clutched his chest and fell backward. Ji-yeon ran towards him screaming. The entire conference hall turned into a ballroom. Reporters began live coverage. Shareholders began talking to each other in panic, but I simply watched with a cold expression. Then I slowly stood up, put on my suit, and looking at the other shocked shareholders said, there's no need to be afraid. This was just a family scam. I didn't come here to take over this retail company, but to see it destroyed. But after today, Ji-yeon's name will only remain in history books. The entire hall was shaken by the revelation of this condition. 0.1% of original shares. Shares of a company that was billions in debt and on the verge of collapse were being exchanged. These were the original shares of a fledgling tech company whose valuation had already reached over 30 billion and was still growing like a rocket This was no ordinary acquisition. This was a real wealth grab. Shareholder Wang, who had been seething with anger just moments before, froze in place. His hands trembled slightly as he held the takeover agreement. After all, they were businessmen, and no one in this world would go against money. No one knew Jigu's predicament better than he. The company's bankruptcy was only a matter of time, and my appearance was like people standing on the edge of a precipice suddenly getting their last chance to climb a new horizon.